Hello, and welcome to Interpreting Poetry. So, the last lesson kind of gave an outline of elements of poetry, and in this lesson, we're going to look at two different poems and answer some questions, keeping in mind the literal meaning versus the kind of figurative meaning, the meaning beneath the literal. So, we're just going to go ahead and hop into these poems because they might be a little tricky. All right, so this first one, a poem should be palpable and mute. Okay, palpable meaning you can touch it, you can feel it. As a globed fruit, dumb as old medallions to the thumb. So here, dumb means silent, not lacking intelligence. Silent, quiet. Dumb as old medallions to the thumb, silent as the sleeve-worn stone of casement ledges where the moss has grown. So let's pause here. Old medallions to the thumb, you might imagine, a medallion like a medal that maybe, I don't know, a soldier or someone got, and they're rubbing it with their thumb, right? The medallion itself is silent. It's dumb, but when the owner of it maybe rubs it, holds it, rubs it with their thumb, is there meaning there? Are they feeling something? Are they remembering something? And kind of the same idea is given here. Silent as the sleeve worn stone of casement ledges. A casement ledge is like a windowsill. Um, so why would a windowsill be sleeve worn? What? Why is a sleeve on a windowsill? How are those two things connected? Hmm. Think about that. Um, a poem should be wordless. What? Wordless as the flight of birds. So that's an interesting thought. Poems have to be made of words. What does he mean, wordless as the flight of birds? Think about if you see a flight of birds. Does that conjure up some feeling, maybe some desire? Um, do you want to, like, oh, what is it like to be free and just fly away? Um, what does the flight of birds kind of symbolize? Um, we're here. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs, leaving as the moon releases, twig by twig, the night entangled trees, leaving as the moon behind the winter leaves, memory by memory, the mind. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs. Okay, all of this is about the moon, and you kind of get the sense of it like rising, like beyond. This is a tree, okay, and the moon is kind of like as it rises, it kind of goes through the branches almost as you see it rising above the horizon. A poem should be equal to, not true, for all the history of grief, an empty doorway and a maple leaf. For love, the leaning grasses and two lights above the sea, a poem should not mean, but be. Okay, so that is really the heart of it right there. A poem should not mean, but be. Maybe we shouldn't be caught up in what does this mean? What does that mean? But it should be like experienced, felt, and in that way, fully kind of understood. Okay, pause here and see if you can take a crack at some of these questions, and we'll move into the next one. Okay, here we are. Into my heart an air that kills from yon far country blows. Okay, so the air is blowing like in from a faraway country. What are those blue remembered hills? What spires? What farms are those? Spires is like a tower, like a church tower, right? The spire. Um, so this in this first stanza, we maybe get this feeling of a little bit of heartache, an air that kills coming into your heart. That air is like a remembered, is coming from remembered hills, spires, farms. It's a place. It's a place that's being remembered here. That is the land of lost content. I see it shining plain, the happy highways where I went and cannot come again. So, this second stanza really drives home this idea of something in the past, something lost, um, something happy at one time, um, but never to be returned to again. So, take a look at those questions and reach out if you need any help.